I forgot they hit the intro button. Man, I fail sometimes. It's late. Welcome to Clown Planet Daily Wrap Up, Friday Dump Day, whatever you want to call it. Thank TGIF, whatever. 9 minutes after 9 on the 12th of September, 2025. The feast of the holy name of Mary. Welcome everybody. Good evening, good night, whenever you are. Sorry, I can usually have the clown logo thingy majig that buddy might put together 5 years ago for obviously the craziness that went on down that time. And we did news from the pew last night, and I used the same website platform, StreamYard, and I took that one off so we could put the other one on, and I forgot to add that one back. So it's not exactly the most professional standards we use here. It is what it is. And again, I'm trying to rush 4,000 things in like 3 hours. So let's get right to it. Anyways, ask anything you want in the comments. I see it. And by the way, before we get started, you see everything up there on the links. Everything's already in the links below. Let me go ahead and start off saying, if you don't like my opinion, fine. Everyone's entitled to your own opinion. The links are below. I'm not making up anything that's not up here. It's not that I'm pulling stuff out of the air. I'm showing you where this stuff comes from. Like this one right here. Governor Stein here in North Carolina approves $15 million grant for filming Beast Games second season. Again, if you want to look at this more or any other link that I come up, check it out in the show notes. Everything's sourced material. If you don't know who MrBeast is, he is a billionaire. Number 2, I think, on YouTube channel. Let's just say I think someone tried to buy his YouTube channel for a few $100 billion and he turned it down. That's how much money the guy has. Like billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. You see, if you don't know who he is, look it up. He gave away like 1,000 eye care things to people that get eye surgery, things like that. He does great with his money. I'll give him that. Fantastic. I don't know why he needs $15 million grant for filming the Beast Games second season here in North Carolina. It's Wilmington right here. Grant funding for YouTube star and Greenville native. Yeah, he's from North Carolina, Greenville, North Carolina. If you don't know where Greenville is, if you heard of the East Carolina Pirates, that's them. Has been approved by the Governor Josh Stein, who the only reason he is even governor is because they ran that hit parade on Mark Richardson at the time. And guess who didn't back him up? Once and future King President DJT walked away, turned his back on him. I don't hate him, but there's something off. I get it. When he had his friend that went cuckoo, and when he became a she and left his wife and all that, not Beast, but the other guy. It is kind of weird that all these guys at these gigantic platforms started with video games. Why? Who watches? I don't know why somebody watches someone play video game on YouTube. But that's how Beast and these other guys, was it Flash, whatever? Most of those guys with them got started by playing video games online, and then boom. North Carolina is home to a thriving TV and film industry. It's only getting stronger, said Stein. These grants support this vital economic activity, even though MrBeast literally has $15 million in his back pocket that benefits small businesses and suppliers across the state. Stein made the announcement of Bestbrook Coffee Shop in Wilmington was served as the filming grounds for the third season of The Summer I Turned Pretty, which was also funded by the grant previously. Again, why do you need a grant for this? Beast, he probably needs $15 per video anyways, not including the candy bars, not including everything else. The guy throws money out just like it's like he printed it. He's got his own printing press in a sense. Here's once and future King President DJT at Fox News Live today. He takes credit for resolving war between Azerbaijan and Albania. He meant Azerbaijan and Armenia. It's always, anybody could happen like that. Brandon would have easily messed that up too. Fox TV hosts make no effort to correct the press because off with your head if you do that. a sign of their fearful trepidation. Yes, they ain't no way in God's great earth any of those three will correct. If any of them correct them, your presidency, your whole, whatever they want to call them, that's not correct. You would see the hook, and somebody insert their place immediately. There's not a snowball's chance, and you know what, if any of these guys ever corrected them. While you were distracted by what was going on, pinning, as Libertarian Griffin says, pinning this so we remember that Senate Republicans voted down this Epstein amendment while the Charlie Kirk news was making world headlines and completely draining it out. I mean, it drained out. If there was anything that went on, if there was a nuclear bomb that went off, it drained it out. I mean, again, the Charlotte thing, ain't nobody talking about the Charlotte thing anymore, which is a good thing because it's just the Charlotte thing anyways. I was questioning, you saw that a couple, Monday. Why is this even big news? Why is everyone talking about this? This makes no sense. I mean, people don't even know what happened about it now. Only tyrants and cowards would do this. There's from anonymous U.S. Senate Republicans blocked an amendment introduced by Democrat Majority Leader Chucky Schumer that would have released the Epstein files. Only two Republican senators, Rand Paul and Josh Hawley, broke ranks and joined Democrats in supporting the measure. There is the roll call: 51 yay, 49 nay. Motion to table the Schumer amendment to Senate Bill 2296, the National Defense Authorization Bill. Now, again, obviously it was pork in the bill still, but it's just something to show you that the Republicans, all of them except for two, blocked the Epstein amendment. And did Fox bring that up, or CNN? And nobody brought that up. Again, it's just like it's Friday, just like a dumping day anyways. Yesterday, do it on September 11th on top of everything else was going on. Let's run this thing out real quick. Here's Colonel McGregor. Contrary to popular belief, Venezuela is not a major drug hub. He tells Ron Paul, oil and gas reserves is the real issue. So, when you see somebody, they talk about, the boats coming over, oh, these guys are fentanyl. The colonel says, yeah, that's not exactly it. It's oil and gas, which I brought up a couple days ago. Venezuela has the most oil reserves in the world. And if you watch news from Repeal yesterday, Rick actually starts talking about it. He goes, I wonder why we're going after Venezuela. And I go, click. And the screen comes up with Venezuela as the most oil reserves. He goes, oh, don't say anymore. Now I understand. He goes, regime change highly unlikely in Venezuela. Colonel McGregor tells Ron Paul, unless you kill everyone at the top Israel style, which don't hold that past us to try to pull off. Speaking of most favored nation, here's last American vagabond post for today from Robert Inikish. I think he's out in the Middle East, actually. Israel carried out assassinations across 4 continents. The Doha attack is no exception. On September 10th, one day after his failed assassination attempt against the Hamas leadership in Qatar, Israeli Prime Minister and War Criminal Benjamin Netanyahu publicly threatened to launch yet another attack inside the territory of Gulf Arab states and beyond. Despite even U.S. President, once a future king, President DJT, attempting to distance himself from the attack that violated the sovereignty of its allied nation, the Israeli premier showed no remorse or regret. Let's see, what else? U.S. raid designed to assassinate former Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden was reported carried out on the ground by special units. Blah, blah, blah. We already knew that. Within the same 24-hour span of time when Israeli Air Force attacked Doha, they also decided to launch strikes against Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, and even Tunisia. The very next day, Yemen was added to that list. And this just gets into a lot of little roundup of what everything went down. At this point, even if Israel decided to launch missiles that blew up the United Nations General Assembly building in New York City, yes, New York City, in order to assassinate the Palestinian Authority official, it is unlikely that the U.S. government would cut off ties with them. Although this comment may seem hyperbolic, It is not beyond the realm of possibility that Washington would allow something of this nature. This is the level of absolute impunity Israel enjoys and the carte blanche that it has been granted by its Western allies to do anything it chooses anywhere in the world. Let me go ahead and check out antiwar.com for the War Pigs edition. House passes NDAA and repeals Iraq War's AUMFs. Israel bombs offices, kills 25 journalists in Yemen. One killed in Israeli strike in southern Lebanon. Then Yahoo signs off on major West Bank settlement. IDF and starvation kills 79 more Palestinians in Gaza in 24 hours. Qatar, Israel strikes killed any hope for release of Israeli captives. Trump may meet Syria's AQ turned prez in New York City. New York City. That's Al Qaeda turned president in New York City. If you didn't know what AQ, Syria's Al Qaeda turned president. Now we're cool with the guy. Remember, Syria. That's the narrative. You know, you're supposed to be terrified of that, but. Germany wants 100,000 troops to prep for war. Prepare for war. Love it or leave it. Metallica came up in my head. U.S. bombs Somalia for 75th time this year. 75 times this year, the U.S. has bombed Somalia. Give them the Peace Prize. I mean, that's what it is. You blow up people, you get the Peace Prize. U.S. attacked boat near Venezuela multiple times. Files Saudi 9/11 support began years earlier. In case anybody doesn't know what the NDAA thing is, let's go ahead and look at it. House passes national or defense spending bill that includes repeal of Iraqi wars authorizations. The legislation provides nearly $900 billion in funding to the Department of War. The House of Representatives passed a version of the annual pentagram spending bill. The legislation includes the repeal of the authorization for use of military force, AUMF if you're nasty, for the Gulf and Iraq wars. The 2026 National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, passed the House on Wednesday, 231 to 196. The vote mainly fell along party lines, with 17 Democrats voting for the legislation and four Republicans voting against. The NDAA is the National Department of War funding bill. The House and Senate typically pass separate versions of the legislation. Then the leadership of the upper and lower chambers meet in the conference committee and roll out a compromise bill. Repealing the AUMFs may have support in the Senate. In 2024, the Senate passed legislation by a wide margin that repealed the 2002 and 1991 AUMFs. Again, if you want to look more into it, everything's in the show notes. MK Ultra is a perfect name for what's going on right now. Appreciate you do CPN. I watched them all back then years ago. Thank you, man. I told my wife a couple months ago, like, what if I start doing because the algorithm was kicking my butt. I was trying to come up with some idea to get the algorithm back up. I mean, it was just downfall. And I go, I'm going to start doing a daily news show. One, because I see everyone else doing some kind of news show, and it's terrible. It's one of those things like, if I let my hair grow out, I'd be pulling it out because I'm going, no, why are you focusing on that? So it's that whole idea of anything we're doing badly, or all right, no one else doing it. I guess was it Gomez Adams said, if there's a fool for it, I am that fool. There you go. No one else is doing it, so I'm going to do it myself. And they don't want to say anything like this. I'll be that guy that brings up I'll stand, everyone's going with the currents. I never was one to go with the current anyways. So appreciate all you guys, actually. I mean, everyone who watches, thanks, puts in your support for everything on the channel. You don't know how much that means to me for all you guys. Here's Last America Vagabond going on right now live. Was Israel involved with Charlie Kirk's death? Let's look at the facts. Now, if you hear anybody, Catholic, non-Catholic, whatever, say 100% for sure they know it was just one guy. We'll get into that. That's coming up in the next 15, 20 links. I don't know. Don't listen to him. All of a sudden the FBI is now telling you the truth. Those same guys are believing the FBI now? I don't get it. Have you seen the live stream ABC News and CNBC? Many people in the comments live are strangely mocking Kirk. I've seen some of the videos of Dan Dix put one out. He's a believer of some sort. He's in Canada. Great investigative reporter type deal. And he showed a bunch of the people on TikTok that not just mocking, it's horrific posting. Man, I mean, it's terrible what they're doing, the mocking and the joyful dancing and all that. I don't know how somebody does that for anybody. Which is, I can't remember the guy's name who Charlie did a debate with. Was it Dan? It was a guy on the left versus right thing. It was a guy on the left, quote unquote, and people, I guess, were on his site and saying something about it. And he told them, and this is a guy, quote unquote, if you want to play the left thing, he told those guys that were mocking and cheering it on to unsubscribe, get away from his channel, and never click play on his thing again. So there are some guys, before anyone goes to the left, there are some guys on the quote unquote left that are decent humans. Obviously, no person on each side of the bunch. I used to be really good friends with guys on the quote unquote left. They hated Bush. They thought Obama was the second coming of Christ. Literally, I know. But they were one of my best friends. They knew exactly where I stood. Everything across the board before I was even right when I was coming back in to the church. And obviously they did not agree, but myself and the bartender at the local bar we all went to, it was me and him versus the rest of them. I loved it. I always loved being the underdog and or outnumbered and things like that. And yes, Jacob, 100%. That was the first thing I thought of when that happened. I just, his poor family. I could not imagine. You see, I got little ones just like he has little ones. Just could not imagine that. And I was telling Rick this, and it's just weird because I saw the shooting of, remember the insurance guy? Saw that. It was terrible, but it didn't affect me like that. And as horrific as that was, but I guess it's because you saw what came out of his neck. And it looked like when there's the sniper movies. It looked like that, but then you see it, and if you watch a movie and you see a sniper do that, it's not a real thing. But when you're watching that video, even though I've said, you got to second guess everything you see. No, seeing that, knowing that really happened, holy, just watching it, going, yeah, it's different. That was real. And going, it really, even though, and then I told Rick yesterday, I've seen how many hundreds of videos of kids in Gaza getting double tapped, and usually the IDF posts video and posting and talking junk before they do it. I've seen it. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. I told Rick, I hate to think I'm a cold-hearted individual, but I guess I've seen so many that it doesn't faze me in a sense, or it's because, and I said this the other day, maybe it's because it's over there and not here. But I don't know. There's guys that got shot, in the city, and you see the reports, but you didn't see the video of it. And yeah, I've seen, TV shows and things when you go like, I can't believe that, that happened on the show. And again, but that was real. And you're going, right when you heard the pop, oh man. Great, yeah, man, the kids and that, and there's really no words. But if I was a friend of his, I don't know him from the man to man. I've seen a few clips of him throughout his time. Wasn't a subscriber to his channel, didn't follow. I jokingly called, I didn't know he was in charge of Turning Point, or he founded it. I remember seeing the ads for it, and I would tell friends how it was it was one of the Water is Wet cheerleading segments, because it was just a rah-rah, grant money. They were going to talk about, the fake patriotism that we're bringing in, and centralization, and we need to get Trump in, and all this. And I wanted to go there just to give away miraculous medals, and I always forgot that it was coming up. And I would have tried to figure out how to pay my way to get there, and I'd always forget that it came up because it's usually the week before. And I mean, I knew there was Catholic guys that went there. I'm going, you guys evangelizing them? I would go for strictly, all right, we're giving away Catholic stuff here. I don't care what you guys say. Come over. This is our table. That's what we're doing. But I never did. And again, I wasn't I never joined. Still not going to join. It's not my thing. Turning point. It's not my, I'm a decentralization guy, not a more centralization guy. Again, that's where him and I differ. I mean, if you read Judge Napolitanio's tweet, I'm 100% with everything what the judge said. He goes, I liked him. I don't think he knew him, but he met him a few times. Always heard as a good person. But we differed on, hey, a difference between him and us is way different from ASO or Cortez or the other ones and us. I mean, you can at least get to somewhere. And then he knew the founding fathers thing too. I wonder if someone would have talked to him about, hey man, yeah, you bring up the founders and all. They were what you were saying, but they also did not expect the biggest centralization government in the history of mankind to come out of that. If they did, they would never gone through with it. But we've been indoctrinated for 160 years about that for it. But anyway, so he's a man of the times of that. Maybe he was coming around to, I don't know. But he was coming around to something else from the stuff that everybody was talking about. But anyway, let's get to where it goes. Hey, fascist, catch. Utah governor reveals what Charlie Kirk shooter engraved on bullet casings. I don't know about you guys. I have yet to see a photo of any of that. I've seen people tweet it out, say, show us the photos, show us the evidence. Again, question everything just because they tell you that's what it's on there. And what is the deal with everyone engraving bullets? Is that like the new thing or something like that? Yeah, let's engrave, let's write on it. Now there are people that are doing that. We'll get photos of that soon. Hold on. Authorities believe Charlie Kirk shooter acted alone, per Utah Governor Spencer Price. Quote, every piece of evidence we have so far makes it clear that the assassin acted alone. And don't worry, mass work. 9/11 was done with box cutters. 2 planes brought down 3 buildings. Don't question it how, but just believe it. Buildings that were built to withstand plane crashes. And yeah, other things. And the audit of the pentagram was called for the day previous. And though they couldn't fly Cessnas worth anything, this guy was able to make a gigantic corkscrew drive, which every pilot in the 9/11 Truth for Pilots have actually said the only way we can pull that off is we turn the reality thing button off in the flight simulator. And it didn't hit the generals, it hit the audit office. But, believe the narrative that the TV tells you. We got a mugshot of Charlie Kirk suspect. Tyler Robinson, 22, is revealed after dad turned him in and sick plot messages found. Don't worry, we'll have Gideon AI in the not so distant future helping out with finding stuff that's online too. Representative Clay Higgins, I'm going to use congressional authority and every influence with big tech platforms to mandate an immediate ban for life of every post or commenter that belittled the assassination of Charlie Kirk. If they ran their mouth with their, hatred, celebrating the heinous murder of that beautiful young man who dedicated his whole life to delivering respectful conservative truth into the hearts of liberal enclave universities, armed with the Bible and a microphone and a constitution, these profiles must come down. So I'm going to lean forward on this fight, demanding the big tech have zero tolerance for violent political hate content. The user be banned from all platforms forever. I'm also going after their business licenses and permitting. Their businesses will be blacklisted aggressively. They should be kicked out of every school, and their driver's licenses should be revoked. Man, this guy's going nuclear option. I'm basically going to cancel with extreme prejudice these evil, sick animals who celebrated Kirk's assassination. I'm starting that today. That is all. Okay. Mom, how do you tell who's lying? The ones censoring people are the ones who are lying. Oh, look, government using a tragedy to grab power. Who would have thought? Charlie Kirk would be the first to call you out on how stupid this is. The man opened for the mic for all to speak, even if they hated his guts. For you to silence people in his name is a desecration of his legacy. Don't worry, more of that's going to come, because that guy's exactly right. These guys never let a crisis go to waste. These guys are going to come in with a Charlie Kirk bill, which would be the opposite of whatever he stood for, and they're going to slam it down everyone's throat in the name of safety and, whatever they want to bring up. If you heard about the jet thing, here's one of the things. Why did a private jet take off from a private airport 12 minutes from the shooting with its radar illegally turned off 20 minutes after the assassination? And why is nobody else talking about this? I forgot. You're not supposed to bring this up. The owner of N888KG jet that flew out of Provo after Charlie Kirk was murdered, Derek Porter Maxfield, has donated via his Derek and Shalane Maxfield Family Foundation to the Chabad Lubavitch of Utah, organization of Hasidic Jews. Again, I mean, I didn't know about this till after that. I didn't know about the plans. I saw a couple videos that I watch mostly alternative news. If you don't know about that already, you probably do. So they're the only ones bringing this up. So then I saw more of these posts coming up recently. Here's one. The odds are 1 in 2 billion that George Zinn was the witness to the 9/11 attacks, where he described seeing the planes hit the towers. Then he got arrested in 2013 for emailing a bomb threat joke to the Salt Lake City Marathon shortly after the Boston bombing. And he was detained and questioned as a person of interest after Charlie Kirk's assassination on September 10th, 2025. Remember the old guy that got picked up? That's him. Wow. What are the odds on that guy being being connected with that? As one guy said, whatever you do, do not try to connect dots. Charlie Kirk's assassination had professional hallmarks, security experts say. If you look at other channels, people are talking right now, obviously, because they don't want to go digging deep like that. It's whatever the narrative says, it's the left coming to get us. The boogeyman, they have to have the boogeyman. It can't just be one thing. One guy takes somebody off or cross the line of the boss, and they end up pulling the thing. It's got to be, we have to fear for everybody that doesn't agree with us. I have to hate my guy across the street is what a lot of people say. Don't buy into that. I got another photo. We got that coming up here. That's the script that everyone's trying to use. Here we go right here. Why mask? Kirk was founder. What to know? Kirk was shot. Former FBI agent Stuart Kaplan said the shooter likely put a lot of preparation into the attack, telling Fox News' Jesse Waters. This assassination, different to the attack on Trump back in Butler, Pennsylvania, was a very well-planned, very well-orchestrated plot that was put in motion days before. Quote, this individual had a plan to escape to elude detection of being out on a rooftop, and also being able to evade and elude law enforcement, said Kaplan. This assassination of Kirk is indicative of a professional hit, and I'm not so sure we are quickly going to be able to apprehend this individual without some luck. Kaplan pointed to the shooter's use of only one shot and immediate disappearance as a sign of careful preparation ahead of the attack. The shot that was taken, quote, was taken to immediately incapacitate Mr. Kirk. And so this was not some amateur who just got up on the rooftop. This seemed the earmark of a professional that got up onto the rooftop well in advance. He was clearly undetected. There was no indication anyone saw him, apparently for about 33 minutes. After that, one shot was taken. This is, quote, this is someone who had some experience, some level of sophistication to have mapped out exactly how this was going to go down. The former Republican New York Senator and Homeland Security Advisor Michael Balboni made a similar point, telling Fox News, quote, it's an incredible chaotic scene on the college campus. Hundreds and hundreds of people there right immediately afterward. He added that a rifle sound was heard, and yet nobody was able to identify an individual, which mostly likely means that the individual was shooting from concealment and maybe had some way to suppress or to hide the flash of the gun, and again indicating that this is a sophisticated individual. one shot hitting a target from 200 meters away and then escaping without anybody seeing them. Those are the hallmarks of a professional. But we are supposed to tell that some 22-year-old college kid pulled that off. Just, like I said, what I was going to say is if I was a friend of his, and you see the guys online, they're supposed to be BFF galore. Why aren't you asking for the truth? Asking those questions. Hey, time out. Do we really believe this? Why aren't you guys helping out? I would love to know that answer. Because if something like that happened to me, I would wish that people would ask for the truth on that and not just go, oh, yeah, the TV told me not to think, and that's what happened. We're just going to believe it. Even though I don't believe anything they say, but now they're speaking the gospel right now. Here's Grace on really graceful. Say, if you're explaining, you're losing. Benjamin Netanyahu, this was yesterday. He was all over the place doing some interviews. Insists Israel had nothing to do with Charlie Kirk's assassination. He has, and anyone who believes otherwise is out of their mind. Netanyahu compares the rumor of the old accusations against Jews like poisoning whales and drinking the blood of Christian children. If you have to keep telling it, maybe there's something wrong. Israel hangs giant Trump Kirk posters and paints mural of Kirk after his killing. There was a lot of this going on at the same time, which was kind of funny because Trump tweeted out that he was dead right off the bat, and Bibi like 30 seconds after, and then all these Israeli things were coming up left and right. Look it up. There's tons of them. There's Trump loved Charlie Kirk shows a poster hugging him with U.S. and Israeli flags in the background. This was Trump's tweet from Trump's social earlier. Everyone loved Charlie. It was 5 days ago, this is a Syrian girl, Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin, both Zionists from Hades, implied Charlie Kirk littered conservative seminars, TPUSA, with anti-Israeli Republicans. Shapiro says, you can't be a leader of the right if you think the president is covering up a Mossad rape ring, Epstein, or struck Iran for Israel. Charlie Kirk implied both of these things. Kirk was the only one that came up to the president and told him not to, go after Iran. They also used the words stab Trump in the back, which Laura Loomer used to describe Kirk's actions too. Here's should post some more. Kirk was an obstacle for Trump's anti-Semitism crackdown and the Zionist war on free speech. Remember this? I think I brought this up before. Kirk splits with Trump on anti-Semitism crackdown, warns free speech rights are under attack because of Trump's EO. Kirk was opposed to regime change in Syria, and he knew Netanyahu took credit for deposing Assad and making al-Qaeda the leader of Syria. Here's the post. If you thought Assad was bad, wait till you see what's coming next. Netanyahu claims credit for starting historic process that led to the fall of the Assad regime. Kirk was involved, and he went from being a classic neocon to opposing war with Iran and regime change. He was wavering in the end because he was under a lot of pressure. This was from June 23rd. For those of you who support U.S.-led regime change, why? What does that look like? Does Iraq, Libya, Syria, Afghanistan give you pause? It certainly does for me. Make your case. On June 18th, the proponents for regime change have pivoted the last 24 hours. They know they are losing, and their position is indefensible and unpopular. Libya, there's 2011. Libya, give us your oil. So just like Tucker, you've seen videos of Tucker. He was for, he goes from gigantic neocon to, I was wrong. So there's people that are changing their minds. Here's Charlie Kirk opposed war with Iran. He went further and said war with Iran was worse than Iran having nukes. He said that Iran having nukes would not threaten America, only Israel. He said the same people behind the war in Iraq are the ones behind war in Iran. That was Netanyahu and Wolfowitz. This is extremely damaging for Netanyahu and Trump. Again, yes, too much questioning and curiosity can take you away from God. Also, just accepting falsehood is not exactly good too. And I'm doing this most of the things I put in up here is because no one else is doing it. They're all just saying the left this, the left this, the left this. It was Civil War stuff and all that. I'm just bringing this out. You go, listen to this. Go listen to, pray the divine office afterwards. Go for it. But if you're going to listen to some falsities, Christ is the devil is the one with lies. Truth will set you free. Do you want to hear what's going on? Or, again, not question. I don't subscribe to lizard people underneath Denver International Airport. If something goes on and you use deductive reasoning to try to figure out, that doesn't make any sense. We can question lies if you hear them. That's totally okay to do. Or is this okay, by the way? Here's Father Calvin Robinson coming with an icon of Charlie the Martyr. The reason why he's doing this is because there is a case to be made for sainthood. Charlie died proclaiming the gospel. I do not believe the Catholic Church has ever formally canonized anyone outside of Catholic or Orthodox churches, but it's technically possible. And she has recognized and venerated martyrs. We're not supposed to call that out? Preach the gospel in season, out of season. And, hey, that's wrong. Can't say. Tucker Carlson said that after Charlie Kirk went to the White House to urge President Trump not to strike Iran, he received massive abuse and intense messages from his donors and made a lot of real enemies. And on top of that, if I'm showing you this stuff and you're showing that the government is corrupt beyond corrupt, maybe we should pray harder for all our leaders, state, local, all the way up to the federal part too. Maybe it gives us an idea that what we're praying for, instead of just ho ho hum. We need to pray for our leaders. No, we need to really do it because it's corrupt beyond corrupt. Breaking: Utah seeks death penalty for Charlie Kirk assassin. Now all of a sudden, everyone that was against the death penalty is now for it. Trust me. Just do a couple searches. Charlie Kirk, here's James Lee. He does a lot of great work. He rejected Netanyahu's bid to flood TPUSA with Zionist money, warned Trump against bombing Iran, and started calling out Israel's stranglehold on D.C. Then he was assassinated. And this is coming from Max Blumenthal and Anya Parampel at the Gray Zone. Again, all these are underneath show notes. Here's the video he just did, I guess. Who killed Kirk? Definitely not Israel, because it's, whatever you want to believe, whatever you say, definitely not that. I'm being funny because it says right here, retraction. It was not Israel that killed Charlie Kirk. Per the FBI, it was a lone gunman who planted two patsies in the crowd, then shot Kirk, disassembled his rifle, executed a perfect escape, reassembled his weapon in the woods, and then turned himself in. No more questions, please. It's a solid little minute and a half when he goes into this, because he brings up the 33. Patel goes, we took us 33 hours to find it, to be precise, which is, and I'm not trying to do the 33 thing, but I think they ended up being LDS, the family. So it's this connection with the Masons and that. But yeah, apparently here. So the narrative is he pulls the shot off, one shot, which he would have had to have practiced, because I have. Let's see right here. Yeah, if you look at, where's the one I had right there? This is the Larry Johnson on ballistics. So Judge Knapp asked him for 23 minutes, everything about the rifle that was used, everything about how to have had it executed. And he goes, he would have had to practice. He would have had to zero out the weapon, all that. So I think the staff said he lives like 4 hours away. So did he just show up on just showed up, or did he come up to practice, to try to check out the facility, scope it out? He had a plan without even being there. Again, you'd have to, jettison a lot of reason to go out and say, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to blindly believe. I'm turning off my mind. I'm just going to believe whatever the TV says. And again, the whole thing about ways, he disassembled his weapon, is running from everybody, stopped for a couple minutes to reassemble, because it takes about, everyone has said it only takes seconds to disassemble. So he puts one in his backpack, one in his leg, jumps off the building. But have you ever tried jumping off a building with a gun, with not only the backpack but the other rifle part in your pants? Land without twist an ankle or anything like that. And I'm sure that the barrel did not bend with the land. Your knees have to bend when you land. Run, find a place to reassemble the weapon, which everyone said takes about 2 minutes to do. Still, you're running away, trying to get out. You have time to reassemble it, sprinkle your casings around that has, catch this and all the other writings that you want to put on it as like, breadcrumbs, and then leave. And then tell your dad about it. I'm just saying, could that have happened? I guess it could. What's the odds on that really happening? Yeah, and then he was out there, and one of the things he was saying yesterday was, Netanyahu was saying was radical Islamists and ultra progressives were doing it. That was the real issue. There's the rifle used in Kirk shooting. Traces passed through the woods. Here's the video of him jumping off the building with said rifle, which you don't see, but I mean that's good little. What was that, 8-10 feet from right there? That's a solid fall down. That's a solid jump. Yeah, like he says, you do it in seconds, but then put it back together. Hide it, put it in a box or something. He says at the end, no more questions, please. So what do you think it really was? I agree that everything sounds extremely fishy, but what story does make sense? He had help from whom? What kind of help? Think about this. 24 years later, they have still not figured out what happened in 9/11. Most of the people know kind of exactly what happened. There's actually stories about CIA guys on the planes. JFK still hasn't been. No one still really knows what's going on with that. What else? What are some of the things that come out? Basically, what I'm saying is you're never going to hear. They're not going to come out, just like the Epstein thing. They're not going to come out with, hey, this is what happened. We did it. They did this or anything like that. Highly unlikely. And and Lou says after what happened in Butler, one wonders why rooftops aren't swept before these kind of events. And you've heard me say about what I thought about Butler, but Judge Knapp asks Larry that too. And he goes, and Larry tells him, yeah, he had trained bodyguards there, security there. You see them. They're in sunglasses there. And Judge goes, why didn't they do anything with the rooftops? Because I don't know. And again, they have said 33 minutes passed. And he was up on the roof, apparently. It wasn't like he just, took an Uber and got out there like in Butler. The story was he takes his rifle, parks far away, and takes it and walks for, a mile and a half to get to his position. Again. Here's James Lee again. Yes, this is definitely the guy that shot Charlie Kirk from 200 yards away. Don't ask any more questions. This shadow of Ezra. Here's Tyler Robinson, who's being accused of murdering Kirk, reading a letter they received from Utah State University for a $32,000 scholarship. And here's what I was talking about with the script and don't listen to these guys and all this. These are the true stream media. These are the so-called influencers who are trying to influence us into a war with each other. See this for what it is. Many of us would think the same thing. Okay. Here's just a thought. There is absolutely nothing organic about the response to Kirk's death. Almost immediately, we are seeing swarms of influencers and leaders coming out with the same message. This is war. Account after account calling for people to be fired, censored, or worse. This is not the solution. Don't let yourself be manipulated into supporting the erosion of rights or the hateful division that has become a defining characteristic of our country. There is no right versus left. There's only the people versus the ruling class. I mean, technically, yes. I mean, you want World War III? It's actually the ruling class against us. There is only class war, if there is to be any. Despite what you're being shoved down your throat 24/7, your neighbor is not your enemy. I mentioned that 3 minutes ago. They are human. They have struggles. They are propagandized. They cannot change your material condition. I was once an Uber one time, and a lady started getting on me. She figured out where the side of the line I was on. I guess because I had a crucifix and Our Lady of Guadalupe and things like that. And she asked about talking about guns. She was terrified of guns. And I asked her, I said, do you think that they magically go off? She literally admitted that, thought it. And I'm not a gun expert. By the time we got done talking, she was looking up places to go learn how to shoot. She goes, you know what? You made me want to go try it out just to get it out of my mind. You can have conversations with people. That's what Kirk was doing, except on a bigger scale. That's what you can change people's mind by just being kind to someone, talking. You don't have to yell at them. We do a lot of yelling, especially online. As Americans, we have the choice to unite or divide further. I mean, I do want to divide, the decentralization part. We still have a chance. Be a unifier. Here's Libs of TikTok. This is war. Johnny Manarini, the Democrat Party must be classified as a domestic terrorist organization. Brian Eastwood, Kirk getting shot in the head, heard around the country. I'm ready for civil war. Oilfield Rondo, I don't want the National Guard sent to Democratic cities anymore. I want the Air Force sent. You know why? Sean Davis, Democrats lose election they couldn't steal and murder the people they were unable to defeat. Ron Fliporowski, I can barely see it. Blaming the rhetoric on radical left. Gunther, they've declared war. Can't see what the other guy's name is. Matt Froiney, Patrick Casey, it's time to bring the hammer down on the left. Elon Musk, if they don't leave us in peace, then our choice is to fight or die. Laura Loomer, it's time for the Trump administration to shut down, to fund, and prosecute every single leftist organization. The left is the national security threat. Charlie then, Sean Davis, Elon Musk up top. The left is the party of nuclear? Murder. Sorry. Yeah. There are a lot of these guys are saying that. Alex Jones is even saying a lot. They're all using the same script in a sense, which both sides do. If you look at if you're honest, you back away, detach from everything, and you look at this from a bigger picture, they all do this. So it's not like that's the first time you see this. Jackson Hinkle, I've got questions about the assassination. He used to be an Israeli loyalist. He feared Israel would kill him. He started mildly criticizing Israel. He said Epstein was Mossad. He said no Iran war on behalf of Israel. He let anti-Zionists speak at his defense. Zionist media started attacking him. Then Yahoo calls Charlie about Israel visit. FBI fires chief at Utah FBI field station. Tells Ben Shapiro question Israel. Loomer says Kirk backstabbed Trump. Charlie shot in jugular from 200 yards away. Police arrest Patsy, claiming to be shooter. Patsy tells shoot me during arrest. Actual shooter flees without a trace. Then Yahoo tweets within minutes. Israeli media first to confirm Charlie's death. Jerusalem Post. Assassin escapes without trace. Private jet takes off 12 minutes away. Private jet disables location monitoring. Jet is owned by Shabbat Lubavitch donor. Then Yahoo posts about Charlie's Israel trip. Police arrest second suspect with pellet gun. Second suspect is not the shooter. FBI claims to have photos of the shooter. Rifle found in nearby wooded area. Scope is likely planted on shooter's gun. FBI says shooter was wearing tactical gear. FBI releases photos of suspected shooter. Alleged shooter wearing no tactical gear. Alleged shooter not carrying gun in photos. Zionists go on social media blitz about Kirk. Then Yahoo goes on media blitz about Kirk. Then Yahoo says Islamists behind shooting. Then Yahoo says Israel didn't kill Kirk. FBI says foreign intel assisting manhunt. But I'm sure it was just some random liberal kid. Lou, appreciate it, Lou. Again, and then this is the guy, because he's telling everyone now the guy took a different change of clothes with him. As Mel says, if he changed clothes on the roof, where did he get those surveillance camera photos in the stairwell? Since he jumped off the roof and ran directly across the street. The guy literally is talking about the guy bringing a change of clothes, changed from one position to another. It's all, again, link, show notes, just check it out. You click it. You want to hear it, send it to yourself. I got them all linked up. Watch as Ben Shapiro announces that he'll be doing the college campuses across the country, saying we will never stop debating and discussing. We will never stop standing up for what America is and what she should be. And we will never let Charlie's voice die. Sorry about the two-letter words there. I just noticed that. One thing about that is Ben is the opposite of what Kirk was doing. Kirk was, telling the age people for at the campuses were not for the Zionism. We're not for what's going on, and we're not embracing it. Was going away from that. Shapiro's going to go in there and try to bring the young groups back to the Zionist ways. Where was that? There's the phone, the color. Here's Taylor Marshall. We need drones flying and filming all rooftops during all speeches and events. That is not expensive or difficult. Don't worry, we will have that. Remember this. Where is it at? And you see what I watch sometimes. It'll push over and darn it. I thought I had it. It's probably way back here now. Let's see. Washington. AI. Not Washington. Oh, man. It was. You remember that? Do you guys remember when I put it up, that AI program that was going to come out? It was can look at 30,000 people all at once. It's being used by, it was the same people that built the Iron Dome. Don't worry, this is all coming out. The answer is really not to have more of the surveillance. There's enough surveillance going on. All you had to do is have people look. And I'm back. Sorry, the computer shut down for some reason. It does that from time to time, but that's why it froze up. Or if you didn't see anything, it's because of that. My apologies. The computer is overworked and underpaid. Can you hear me now? Israel's eighth front war. If you never heard of this, again, everything's underneath in the show notes. Check it out. If you're wondering why all the Israeli accounts are posting Charlie Kirk spoke truth about Judeo-Christian values and was killed for it, it's part of Israel's eighth front information war to turn American conservatives back towards Israel. And again, you have to check out, it's in the show notes. Check it out. It'll go into everything about this. Here's the articles from the Times of Israel, too. Blogs, Fighting the Eighth Front, Israel's Information War. This is from September 3rd, 2023. Donald Trump said it plainly this week. Israel's not winning the world of public relations. Whether you agree with the messenger or not, the message is true. Israel wins battles on the ground, in the air, and in cyberspace. Yet on the information battlefield, Israel too often shows up late, fragmented, or silenced, while Hamas seizes the initiative. For years, Hamas built a propaganda army, 1,500 media operatives, 1,000 combat cameramen, editing rooms. You know, remember, this comes from Israel, guys. Nothing is released without Obeida's approval. He wasn't just a spokesman. He was the general of Hamas's perception war machine. His elimination this month silenced the voice, but not the method. Israel already has its pieces, but they're fragmented. Israel is not starting from zero. The parts exist, but the hub does not. The IDF spokesperson unit, Dover's Zahal, professional, respected, but too small for today's nonstop media tempo. Military censor, National Public Diplomacy Directorate, Ministry for Foreign Affairs, Digital Diplomacy, Amman and Unit 8200, Shin Bet, Israel Police in Yemen, First Responders Hospitals, all that. Each of these bodies has strengths, but without a unifying hub, their efforts are fragmented, reactive, and easily outpaced by Hamas' centralized propaganda system. The solution, an information and maneuver command. Israel needs a new command that treats the information environment as seriously as the Air Force or cyber command. Gain the upper hand in global information environment by detecting falsehoods quickly, proving the facts with evidence, and publish them immediately, lawfully, and credibly. But okay, think of Bibi getting out all day yesterday doing interviews. The 7 brigades of the IMC, Sensitive Intelligence Brigade, about how you see it. Look, check it out. Link, it's in the link in the show notes. All that. There was a scenario: a hospital explosion in Gaza. Sensing and Intelligence Brigades flags the spike. Rapid Response Brigade starts the rumor verification clock. The Evidence and Disclosure Brigade assembles satellite images, geolocation, all that jazz. Spokesperson unit and the military censor clear the release. Platform and Policy Brigade pushes evidence simultaneously to platforms. Narrative and Creative Brigade publishes human clear explainers. The engagement brigade amplifies through communities and influencers. Yeah. All right, now we'll start. We're moving on to another subject here. A 13-year-old boy with school shooting in the ideations found with collection of guns. This was 3 days ago. So police were notified on Friday afternoon about the boy who alleged had school shooter ideations, was making threats to kill. Let's see, the threats on social media, photographs holding semi-automatic rifles. I was watching this and immediately thought Gideon AI. They don't mention it in here, but that sounds like a threats on social media, photographs, all that jazz. Was that used in this? Again, they don't say it at all. But look at this guy had a darn arsenal in a 13-year-old boy. I had a friend of mine text me up. He goes, looks like the FBI or CIA guy just didn't get the memo right and got the wrong day. And what 13-year-old has that? Found in room, drawings and pictures of past shootings, gas mask, backpack full of ammo. This was in Philadelphia. There's the Colorado school shooter, 16, Desmond Holly, fired at children before dying in self-inflicted gunshot. It's all going to be like that now. President wants some future King President DJT to deploy National Guard and federal agents into Memphis, Tennessee, and New Orleans, Louisiana. Will direct the violation of Posse Comitatus, which, if no one knows that, what I'm saying before, because probably there's somebody new here listening to this, Posse Comitatus came in after Reconstruction of the South, where it was an ethnic cleansing of the South, and basically said that no federal military will be allowed to ever do that again, go into states and be basically a police force. Now, the loophole is if the governors pretend to be in charge with the National Guard, Trump can tell the National Guard what to do, but not tell them what not be in charge somehow, and that's the loophole what he's using. Still, the violation of Posse Comitatus, and we have the fake right applauding a police state. Hoaxes targeted Black colleges, shutting classes as anxiety mounts in U.S. Several historically Black colleges and universities canceled classes and events on Friday, today, after a series of threats. The FBI said the calls were all hoaxes. That was Hampton University in Virginia. Where else is the threats shuttered colleges across 5 states, including Florida, Georgia, and Virginia. Trump says he will send National Guard to Memphis. Quote, "We're going to fix that like we just did Washington," Trump tells Fox News. Again, violation of Posse Comitatus. "We'll bring the military too if we need it." Holy smokes. That literally is the violation of Posse Comitatus. But he said it on Fox News, and I'm glad I'm glad nobody there had the guts to say, "But hey, Mr. President, how does this go? How's this not a violation of Posse Comitatus?" Eastern Century's drone wall will rely on new sensors and weapons, both kinetic and non-kinetic, NATO Supreme Commander Mr. G said. Adds Baltic states are investing in new tech and learning lessons from Ukraine. Isn't that a great giggly miggly? Isn't that fun for you? NATO launches Eastern Century. General Root will build up NATO military machine on border with Belarus and Russia's Kaliningrad region. And she said, "Oh, so this was a war to test out military tech and enrich defense contractors. Cool." AI's prophet of doom wants to shut it all down. You know what? I'm not opposed to him saying that. Eliezer Yudkowsky has spent the last 20 years warning AI insiders of danger. Now he's making his case to the public. And wait till AI rules everything. News chief pledged to have more dignities, humanity in Vatican summit. Even the Pope is worried about the news business, and an era of news programming is often seen as polarizing, and outspoken hosts and anchors can serve to pull audiences apart. That's why they do it. A group of the world's most prominent news executives flew to Rome to offer some commitments to ideals such as fellowship and truth, even as market forces make such promises more difficult to keep. This next one is Moldov's President Sandu discussed peace and faith with Pope Leo and says Moldovians show kindness and generosity rooted in Christian values. In reality, Sandu jails opposition figures, shuts down media, represses minorities, supports pro-NATO militarism. NFL and UFC athletes try game-changing psychedelic to treat brain injury. The West African shrub, ibogaine, it's just derived from the West African shrub. Trying to keep this under 5 hours, so that's why I'm rushing a little bit. The Trump administration is scrapping a Biden or Brandon-era proposal that sought to require airlines to compensate passengers for cancellations and delays. Brian Kelly, founder of the Points Guys, breaks down what travelers need to know. This happened. I remember seeing this earlier this week, earlier, was it Monday? Local news here. The Brandon administration ruled financial compensation based on delay length, free rebooking on next available. That's all gone. So again, in a sense, it's helping the corporation and you little people, us little serfs, get hosed. I think they said in Europe, it's pretty much they get mandated. They have to do that. If it's after like a couple hours, you get 600 pounds or something like that. Not anymore, because pound, you voted for this. Or hashtag, whatever it is. Tech giants released message in support of Trump's call for vast AI utilization. Quote, we are delighted to answer the president's and first lady's call to build AI systems for education. Yay! Let's get to this day in history. 1764, death of French composer Rameau, Jean-Philippe Rameau. Known for his harpsichord music and famous for the composer of operas. Died on this day in 1764. Politician Ian Paisley, who was the militant Protestant leader in the factional conflict that divided Northern Ireland from the 60s until the early 21st century, died at age 88 in 2014. Country music legend Johnny Cash died age 71, 2003 today. 1992, astronaut Mae Jemison became the first African-American woman to fly in space, part of the STS-47 Space Lab J mission. 1980, the senior command of the Turkish army, led by General Kenan Evren, carried out a bloodless coup in their homeland. 1977, South African activist Steve Biko died from injuries suffered while in police custody. He subsequently became an international martyr for South African Black nationalism. Emperor Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia was deposed by the Derg, the Committee of Revolutionary Soldiers, today in 1974. The sitcom The Monkees debuted today in 1966. Never heard of that one. The movie, the TV show. TV series Bonanza, premiered on NBC. One of the longest running westerns in broadcast history, today in 1959. Soviet Union launched Luna 2, the first space probe to hit the moon, 1959. U.S. Senator and future President John F. Kennedy married Jacqueline Bouvier in Newport, Rhode Island, today, 1953. German commandos affected in the escape of Benito Mussolini to Munich during World War II, today in 1943. In France, 4 teenage boys found the Lascaux Cave, which contains one of the most outstanding displays of prehistoric art ever discovered in 1940. 1919, Italian nationalist poet Gabriele D'Annunzio led the occupation of the Adriatic port in Fiume. Now Croatia bringing to the forefront the Fiume question. Genevieve Republic was admitted to the ranks of the Swiss cantons in 1814. 1733, Stanislaus I was elected king of Poland by this diet of 12,000 delegates in Warsaw. The move led the war of Polish secession. In 1683, the siege of Vienna ended after the combined force led by John Sobieski of Poland defeated the Turkish invaders, hence the feast of the Holy Name of Mary. God love you. Thank you all for checking in, watching us. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. Comment, tell me I'm terrible human being, whatever. If you like it, thanks. Either way, appreciate your time. I know your time's valuable. You decided to check this out for a little bit. Everything we talked about, again, is underneath right now in the show notes. Click the link, show it around if you want. Do your own research. Don't take my word for anything. I'm just trying to get you the links, you make the decision. You figure out, hey, this is right, this is wrong, this is crazy, this is kooky, whatever. I'm not trying to tell you how to think, just trying to tell you to think. That's all. Anyways, God love you. Have a great rest of the day. Like, subscribe, kiss your kids later on too. Check out sesfidelium.tv for the app. It is Friday. Yeah. So unless something nutty happens between now and tomorrow, see you guys on Monday for Black Pill Monday. God love you. Have a great night. Have a great weekend.